statistics have also shown that if kids are continually engaged, they are still stimulated in they're still mentally stimulated, and that affects their sleep pattern. So being able to make sure that there's a space, just make sure that there's a demarcation between online time and offline time. So for example, they are done with school at 3:30, they're done with all of their homework. Next thing is away from screen. Away from screen and do everything outside of screen so that their brains are no longer sensitized, or I'll say just stimulated, and to bring them back to, just kind of, I'll say, bring them back to reset. When it's dinner time, you set, I think kids thrive when they have schedules. When they have, exactly, when they know that it's everything is, there's a what they know what to expect. So dinner time, you set boundaries, let them know that dinner time is dinner time, no screen. And as parents as well, as we already know, the Bible says that train up a child in the way they will go, and when they grow up, they won't depart from it. And a wise person said, and you to follow that path that you give to that you give to the child. So when we say that no screen time, no phones on the table, means that applies to you as the parents as well. And if we decide that we want to put the devices in a central place, nobody goes to their room with any devices. And when it's time to power off, it is time to power off. You set their bedtimes, like ages differ. So kids, when they go to bed, differs. But once you set a schedule and they know that after bedtime, you have to read, you have to get your everything ready for bed and read to them, and bedtime stories and all that, if it applies to as young kids. And they're in their rooms, everywhere is nice and quiet, no electronics beeping, or the lights are shining in their eyes and just distracting them from sleeping. And they're all set. One thing I've noticed is that if they are stimulated with looking at screens right before bedtime, it's going to be tough for them to go to sleep. And that's going to affect the next day. So it's important for us, like I said, to set schedules for them.
Dr. Ladapo is exactly right. What I would just want to add is that we should avoid caffeinated beverages, and beverages that have a lot of sugar in them just before bedtime, because again, like she said, it's going to only stimulate their brains more. And you don't want the brains to be stimulated or hyped up just before bedtime. You want to completely start winding down. If bedtime is 9 p.m., by 7 p.m., we should start reducing the things that can hype them. And it's true for children as well as for adults. That's something I'm constantly working on, because sometimes I'm taking calls up till the last minute. And then my daughter has this joke that when mommy says good night, if you pop your head into the door, 2 hours after, she's still up. So that's something that's been a tough challenge for me, but it's doable. I'm getting better by the day, and I'm, like she said, I'm being intentional about it. These days, I'm forcing things on myself, because I know that it is for my good, and I'm not getting younger. And the fact that we are locked indoors even makes it more important for us to observe the rules and do the right things for ourselves. So you have to make sure that you start winding down, your children start winding down. Maybe 2 hours before bedtime or 1.5 hours before bedtime, no cookies and, caffeinated drinks and, sugar-loaded stuff. If they must have late night snacks, just fruits, carrots, things like that don't have too much sugar in them, so that, they can start, their body can actually go to rest when it's supposed to be resting, not trying to digest all the stuff they put in.